Have you ever wondered what's better? Should you drive a new car or a used car? Today I'm going to show you what it has cost me to drive my 1997 Chevrolet Lumina for the past 9 years and the repairs I've put into it. I bought a 1997 Chevrolet Lumina in 2009 for $2,000. This means the car was around 12 years old when I had bought it. It only had 89,000 miles, which is pretty low for a 12-year-old car. I definitely think I got a good deal on it. I know it's not the most stylish car, but it saved me a lot of money. I have owned it since then, and I've put almost 100,000 miles on it, and I'm still driving it today. Now, some people think the problem with used cars compared to new cars is that used cars, you have to put a lot of money into them because of repairs. Or do you? Now, when people think of all the money that they have to put into an older car, they usually just go ahead and buy the new car or an expensive used car, like something well over $10,000 or even $20,000. The only way to really tell if an older used car is better for you than a newer car is find someone who's driven a used car for over 10 to 15 years and have them do what I'm about to show you. I wrote down each repair I've done for my Lumina over the years. Each year I've had either a small or a large repair. From 2009 to 2015, I had absolutely no idea how to work on cars. The repairs were more expensive during these years because I had a mechanic do the repairs. It was actually one of my car repairs that I had done by a mechanic that frustrated me to a point that I stopped going to mechanics, and I've slowly taught myself how to work on my car. You can see me explain that story here in another video if you want. Just check the description for that video. Notice here that by 2016 and 17, my car repair bills drastically decreased. Why is that? Because I educated myself on car maintenance. Subscribe to my channel here if you want to educate yourself and start decreasing your maintenance bill. Now, I didn't include the basic maintenance things in this calculation that you need to do on newer cars, such as tires, brakes, windshield wipers, oil changes, or anything that needs to be periodically replaced. Once I had down what unexpected repair and how much it cost me each year, I then added up all the costs of owning this car. I then took the total amount of months that I owned the car and divided that into the total cost of the car. This gave me an estimated monthly payment for my car. It turns out, on average, I paid around $50 a month to own this Lumina. Now, I guarantee you, you're not going to find a $50 payment anywhere on the market. This is over 9 years for a total of $5,300. Also, something else you have to consider is the insurance. Insurance companies charge less for older cars. Ask me how I know, because I have 3 of them. On average, I have paid around $400 a year for car insurance for just my Lumina. Typically, insurance for someone my age for one car would be around $700 to $800 for someone in my area. That's a total of almost $400 a year saved. Over 8 to 9 years, that's between $3,000 to $4,000 on just insurance. So now that you see how much it has cost me to drive my older used car here, I want to show you how much it would have cost me if I were to have gone back in 2009 and bought a used expensive car. We'll get to the newer car here in a bit. So let's go back to 2009, and if I were to have bought a 5-year-old car and someone put 10,000 miles a year on it, the car would have around 50,000 miles. 5 years earlier, from 2009 and 2004, they didn't make the Lumina, so a comparable car would be the Chevy Impala. If I were to have bought a 2004 Chevy Impala in 2009, it would have cost me between $14,000 to $18,000. This is an estimated price for the base model with 50,000 miles. The MSRP for a brand new 04 Impala is around $21,000, so I'd say $14,000 is a good guess after 5 years, and that's probably on the low end. If it were to have cost me $14,000, I would have had to have taken out a car loan. I would have put the $2,000 I had as a down payment, and I would have taken out a $12,000 loan. I probably would have taken a 5-year 3% loan, and that's a pretty low interest rate. After 5 years, in 2014, the car would have been paid off, and I would have ended up paying over $15,000 for it by 2014 due to the interest. That 04 Impala today, in 2018, would have around 130,000 miles at 10,000 miles a year. I imagine I would have started to put some money into the car at around 100,000 miles. So let's say from 2014 to 2017, I only put $500 a year in it for unexpected repairs. In the end, I would have paid around $16,000 to $18,000 for this 2004 Impala if I were to have not bought the Lumina. Taking that number and averaging out a monthly payment, I end up with around $150 a month. That is more than 3 times as much as the Lumina. Oh, and remember, I would have paid more than $3,000 to $4,000 more over the course of the 8 to 9 years for the insurance. Think about it. Some people don't buy $14,000 Impala. They'll go up to a $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 car and put that on a loan. Imagine how much they could have saved if they were to have driven an older car. Okay, now you see how much it would have saved you if you compare your older car to an expensive used car. Now let's compare it to a more expensive new car. If I were to have bought a brand new Impala in 2009, it would have cost me almost $24,000. With a $2,000 down payment, I would have financed $22,000. Let's assume in the 9 years of ownership of the car, I kept up with the maintenance and I had no unexpected repair bills, which is highly unlikely. But it would have cost me, if I average it out, well over $200 a month. Oh yeah, and the insurance would have been more expensive than the 2004 Impala comparison. Okay, so you might be telling yourself right now, I don't know how to work on cars, and that's why I'm going to go out and buy a newer car, because I don't want to deal with the headache of a mechanic or an expensive repair. Well, I didn't know how to work on cars either, but I taught myself, and in 2018, there's so much knowledge available online to help you. Even if you don't have time to do the work yourself, or you don't really feel like it, you can educate yourself, and you can go to the mechanic with confidence and know he's not trying to sell you repairs that you don't need. Okay, so what can you do right now? You can figure out what I just did and run some scenarios for yourself with a calculator that I put together. So I put this easy to use calculator just for you. It'll be a little bit easier to use than the comparison I showed you today. Whether you have never owned a car, whether you owned an old car just like me, or an expensive used or new car, you can use this calculator and see how much cheaper it is to drive an older used car. I want you to know how much you've spent over the time that you've owned your car. What's your average monthly payment? Can you beat the $49 a month here with my Lumina? You probably fit into one category or the other. Just try to estimate what it would have been if you were to have been on the other side. If you owned an older car just like me, try to estimate what you would have bought when you bought your car and how much more you would have spent. If you bought your car and you were thinking about buying an older used car, go ahead and try it out and see how much you could have saved. I'll send you the spreadsheet. Just click the link in the description to get started. I'll send you over here to my website. If you're tired of being scammed on car maintenance and you'd like to educate yourself about what you're driving, please do yourself a favor and subscribe to the channel. I like to show you basic things you can do here on your car to keep them running. And I like to share my experiences that's driven me to save lots of money on my cars. I have a total of 3 cars with a combined mileage of over 640,000 miles. If you like cars and would like to make a little bit of money flipping cars, head down into the description and click the affiliated links. Thanks for watching.